interest done for me.
This is a straight cash deal.
I tell you what the deal is.
Streets need a body. The streets need a body. Yo, I actually like that little joint by Famous and Jukebox. But what really happened was the streets got two more bodies. One of them deserved to be taken by the streets. This dude trying to rape Raq. He got exactly what he deserved. And we're going to break that down along with everything else that happened in episode 6 of Power. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so when I drop videos, you all get them. Also, if you haven't done so, follow me on the Life Gains Financial channel. Over there, I'm teaching you guys how to do investing, real estate, stocks, save money, make money. Excuse my daughter in the background making all kinds of noises. She wants to get in here, but just go subscribe to that one too. And also hit me on IG. Let's jump right on into this review. We start this set out with Raq trying to catch the elevator to go up into her new enterprise that was inspired by Symphony Basket. And as she's trying to get upstairs, one of the little golden girls who's been here for 40 years tells her that the elevator don't work. Raq said, I remember it doesn't work, but we got to do something about that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first thing I said to me was, this sweet old lady, she's going to die. And it also tells me that the local municipality that is supposed to be overseeing this facility, they either crooked or just don't give a damn about the facility because it's nothing but black people living here. This elevator should have been fixed. 40 years you ain't got an elevator working. That let me know that there's a problem within who runs this particular tower. Then Raq goes upstairs to where she's trying to fix up her spot. And then we meet this old porch nigga. Ladies and gentlemen, the way this guy behaved is the exact reason why people do not like government, especially when you black working for government. Because oftentimes, and you know, I was a student, and my student aid was filled with black folks who acted as though the money that they was giving me for my school belonged to them. I've had Section 8 before. The black people running that acted as though I was beneath them. I've had food stamps before. The black people running that acted as if they was the big boss. And this dude is doing the same thing. But you know what? He's in for a rude awakening. Do we even really need to talk about that? Raq has got invited to his crib later. We know what was going to happen. We see Malcolm the cop running up on the doctor, which she should be scared as hell. Whenever you got a patient that's this desperate running up on you, you might need to report the authorities. But anyway, he's discussing with her about his kid. Can the kid work? And basically, it's a whole lot of loopholes he's going to have to go through. Number one, Kanan going to have to get permission from his mama. That's number one. Then number two, Kanan's going to want to have to give up his bone marrow. I already see where they're going to go with this. Malcolm is going to put so much pressure on Raq. He's going to get Raq caught in a rock and a hard place, literally. And she's going to be forced to make Kanan give up bone marrow. Book it, ladies and gentlemen. Book it. There's going to be no other circumstance in which he's going to be able to get this bone marrow. Do you think that there is something that he can do that'll make Raq just be like, Kanan, give up the bone marrow? Hell no. There's risk involved with this. And what the hell do you think is going to be going through Kanan's head? The only way Malcolm getting this bone marrow is if he forced Raq to give it up, and that's going to be, he's going to put a squeeze on her where she might go to jail, lose her organization. We see Lulu meeting up with Raq, just basically kind of talking about what's going to be going down with this event he's doing. And did you see how homeboy owe everybody money? Bruh, you in here funding the light man, the disco man, the floor tile man, the concierge in the bathroom. Hell, I think I even saw a Twinkie man saying he needed some money. You got to get your budget in order, brother. And Raq is basically giving him a hard time. You spending all this money, but you don't want to run our product in here. And ladies and gentlemen, I've said on one of my trailers, Lulu is going to try his best to get out of the drug game and go legit. That's what he's trying to do with this event that he's doing, where he's going to be putting on Famous. He's putting on Jukebox. This is his soiree in trying to go legit. And we'll see where it goes, man. But he definitely wants out of this game. I don't know if Raq going to let him out. We see Detective Burt, who's working by herself because Malcolm called out. And we hear that the captain had ties to her family. They don't keep bringing up her family for nothing. So when shit goes down and Detective Burt gets hurt, you can cool believe her family's going to come back and be on the captain's ass. That's all this scene was a setup for. That's it. We see Lulu in here talking to Unique. Basically talking about he want the favor of Unique not coming and doing nothing at this event. Apparently, Lulu has had favors before from Unique. Unique was too comfortable talking to Lulu. Unique was too happy to see Lulu. Unique enjoyed the fact that Lulu came to him wanting another favor. I'm curious to know what other favors Lulu has had to go through with Unique. But I also want to know, did Lulu really and truly think in his heart of hearts that Unique wasn't going to do anything at this event? See, ladies and gentlemen, more and more we see why Raq is the brains of this organization. Then we get a scene where Raq is actually cutting her son's hair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in Greenville, North Carolina, Aden, North Carolina, during the late 80s, early 90s. And having your mama cut your hair is something that you would get picked on when I was in school. Apparently, during this era, which is the 90s, it wasn't if you lived in New York. Raq cutting her son's hair. And they just basically having another talk about the lies, man. The lies that is going on between this family. And they started talking about how he got back home the other day when he got arrested. And Kanan is actually starting to like Symphony Basket. I mean, hell, Symphony done grew on me. I think he's a real G. He's an L7, and I like this dude. But Raq, who hasn't had a good man in her life, don't know how to handle this information. She feels like Symphony is trying to come between her and her kid, which he is not. He is not trying to do that. That's some imagination, made-up bull jive Raq has come up with. And she's just basically mad with Symphony. And Kanan don't want her to be that way with Symphony because he sees Symphony as a good dude. And we'll get back on that story in a little bit. We see Monica arrive at Juke's house. Monica done came from her suburbs, caught the bus, and is now in the hood at Juke's house. I told y'all Monica was a ride or die. And I still think Monica is such a ride or die that she is going to die at some point in time in this storyline. But she came over there to, lift Juke's spirits up, give her a hug, yada, yada, yada. I enjoyed this moment because for a minute there, it seemed like Juke was losing all hope. You seen the way she was just sitting in this house, laid up, looking just damn depressed. And then the minute that girl run the doorbell, it was like, pew, a little puppy when he tried to hump a teddy bear. Things just went straight to the ceiling. And then we get Marvin, and we got Lulu, and we got Raq having a meeting about what's going on in the organization. Now, they losing right now. They don't got enough product. All her brothers are trying to do their little own things. And so she puts them on missions, man. She gives each one of them a mission in which they need to get going so they can get these products up. While she's got them doing that, she's going to go talk to the big boss that supplies everybody. And we see Marvin go somewhere where he's trying to get his own re-ups and his own things going on. But we'll talk about him in a minute. As Marvin gets out of this meeting, he sees Kanan. Kanan hops in the car. Keep that in mind because Kanan is getting wise right before our eyes, in a sense. He had an idea that came to him when he was talking to you, Famous, early in this episode, that he's going to try to orchestrate on Marvin right now, but I'll get back to that in a second. We see Big Boss talking to Raq, and he is done with Raq because, number one, he don't trust her. He don't trust her because what? He found out that Raq was trying to infiltrate his man Smurf, send his ass down south with his jump-offs, so he's dead now, and I told y'all in my trailer he was going to die. Smurf's dead. Then Unique is paying a 20% premium to get the goods for all the corners in their particular borough. Raq is asked out. Raq is going to probably have to find her a new supplier. Now, will they take this story where she's going to go to like another country and get a supplier? We see in this episode, she goes to old boy's wife that's getting beat and tells the wife to get her a meeting with the cousins who are also in the drug game. So now we about to have the Spanish and the Boricuas all up in the drug game because you know they're going to let them connect with Raq, and Raq is going to make things happen. Along the way, husband going to die. Raq is not going to keep tolerating this shit where he's beating the lady that's at the front desk. She ain't going to keep tolerating that. He's going to die. It's just a matter of time when it happens. And so Marvin is in the car with Kanan. Kanan rolls him up on the corner and explains to him how they can make money by selling right there at this 76 gas station. It won't be in nobody else's corner. It's right off the highway, and you can get white people money. See? Kanan thinking. Kanan is actually starting to think. He's actually putting a plan in place now. The problem is, how is Kanan going to get his team? You know Uncle Marvin, dumbass, is going to be a part of anything Kanan do. We just need to see where is it going to go. Detective Burke is out here on the creep. She don't have Malcolm with her to keep her in line, so she's just out here checking up on Jukebox and Jukebox friend. And she actually rolls up on Jukebox. And ladies and gentlemen, during this exchange, I want you guys to leave me comments. Did Detective Burke just admit that she's gay? When she kept highlighting, you can talk to me about anything, anything, anything. Just basically trying to get Jukebox to come clean and, build up some repertoire with her by having her think that she's gay and that they can talk. But Jukebox knows full well the code. You still the police. You're going to act like you love me just to get what you want. And then on the back end, if you got to discard me, you're going to discard me. So power to Juke. She figured that shit out. We see Scrap in the car with one of Unique's hitters. And I just love how they've got a Jaguar where you double pump the brake in order to get the dashboard to pop out so you can get to your guns. I thought that was something different. We see Famous getting to meet Monica, and he's going to start calling her White Monica. But the way he was frowning over her, I was like, dude, can we get this boy some butt? This boy needs some panty draws quick. Juke is a little upset, right? She's still got a little stage fright. And we're going to see how that gets handled in a minute. This next clip, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at, I'm going to call this guy Cameo Sweat. He looks like a cross between Keith Sweat and Cameo. What the hell was he singing? Somebody let me know. Post your comments down below. Now, this is the scene I opened up this particular review with. Raq in a room with old porch nigga. And he actually thought he was going to overpower Raq, get the draws, and probably keep the money. But y'all saw what happened. Raq grabbed the hammer, as Moochie would say. She got the hammer, but not only was the hammer over there, she could have got a nail gun. She could have really messed this dude up, but she took the hammer and she wailed on him. And I bet the last thing he's doing is thinking with his little head because that big head done got messed up. I mean, she just laid the wood on that dude. That's what he get though, because he actually thought he was going to get her money. He was going to overpower her. And he's the actual living embodiment of the type of individuals that our community sees that get in these positions of power and then start acting like an ass. So I was all for what he got. I enjoyed it. And I need my people who's in these positions of power to, you ain't got to do nothing crooked, but hell, just act like the people you working with are human beings. And I'm glad Raq, in a fictional form, got penance for all of us who's had to deal with these a-holes in our past. We see Kanan coming to console Jukebox. This is her boy. If anybody can get Jukebox off the ledge, it's him. He certainly does. And I like the story that they gave about the last time he had to talk her out of the bathroom and he had to giggle. When she opened the door, she came out. And that's very touching. I love the kind of bond these two have because we know at the very least, when this story is said and done, these two still going to have a pretty tight bond. And then we get Marvin. the muscle. Is there any question after this scene, ladies and gentlemen, that Marvin is good for nothing but being the muscle? He's as dumb as a bar of soap on the sidewalk on a 100-degree day. He is supposed to handle homeboy for Raq. And what does he do? You know, Raq said cut him up like food. Instead of cutting him up, which is fine, he puts him in the wall, ladies and gentlemen. He puts him in the wall. He takes the nail gun, shoots him in the head, and then he covers him up and leaves his ass in the wall. Marvin, this is your grand plan. Don't you know at some point in time that body is going to decay? MF is going to smell it. Blood sniffing dogs going to come smell it. Hell, LT might come and smell it. And then there's going to be questions about how this dude died. Not to mention he worked for a government office. Marvin, chop his ass up, make him dog food for LT, or go throw him in that pond. Do something, bro. You can't just leave him in the wall. This is your grand plan. This is why Marvin don't never get to do any dealings in the grand plans. We see Raq running away from the event, and then Symphony comes up and chases her. And this is when she tries to just really dig in Symphony's ass about her son. Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the side of Symphony Basket on this one. Her son called him. Her son asked him to keep it quiet until he wanted to say something, Kanan, anyway. And Symphony done that. But what Symphony should have also told Raq was this. I told your son I wouldn't hide this from you, and if you asked, I was going to tell. But the problem with Raq is she's had so many horrible relationships with men. She don't even know how to take a good one. If you tattooed it on her forehead, she still wouldn't see it. And so she's pushing away a good L7 dude that basically gave her the idea to put her drug game in the sky rises, and she's pushing this dude away. So you know what? I was glad Symphony was able to walk away from that like it didn't bother him, but even though I know it did because she put them draws on him. Do you hear me? But at the same time, he put that thing on her too. He dropped the hammer on her. She's coming back. She's never met a dude that stimulates her physically, emotionally, but more importantly, mentally the way Symphony does. And fellas, when you can do that with a woman, they will always come back. So she's going to come back. I ain't even worried about that. Who is this cat? Who is this Mason Bethel looking cat that they're hemming up at the door to get into the event because he likely has a gun? He sees Raq, and then all of a sudden Raq talks to Lulu. Lulu lets him in. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever this cat is, we will see his ass again. I don't know who he is. He obviously has a past with Raq. Who knows how many dudes Raq has a past with, but this dude has a past with Raq. And we definitely going to see him again. Raq runs by and sees Detective Burke. Now, I'm wondering, why is Raq not staying at the event? Is she heartbroken now that she done broke up with Symphony Basket? I think so. But she goes, get ready to go to her Land Rover, and she sees Detective Burke. And Detective Burke is trying to get in her head, play mental games with Raq. And Raq just basically said, look, anytime something comes between a mother and her kid, there's a problem. And in true airhead white girl fashion, Detective Burke says, I don't know what that means. Lady, that means the place you don't want to be is between a mother and her kid. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Talking about, I don't know. That was funny. We end this party, and old Johnny Gill boy is hitting on all the women. Thirsty as hell. First he hitting on Lulu girl. Then he go over there hitting on Jukebox girl. And finally he skedaddles. But when he skedaddles, Crown Camachi comes over there, rolls up a blunt, laces it with cocaine, and then offers it to, guess who? White Monica. Is this going to be the beginning of a drug problem for Jukebox girlfriend? Because I don't really think she's aware that Jukebox family is pushing drugs. But when she finds out, could this chick wind up becoming an addict or even trying to get in the drug game? Leave me comments on what you think. I think this is the beginning of something. Did you see the way she smoked on that joint and her eyes rolled in the back of her head as if she was on a 120 mile an hour roller coaster? I mean, them eyes roll. I haven't seen her eyes roll like that since Juke was between her legs. Leave me your comments, ladies and gentlemen. Then we get Unique's homeboy coming up into this event with Scrappy, and they trying to do their thing. They get in the event, and they're supposed to be going there to take some people out. But we knew that wasn't going to happen, but it was entertaining seeing them trying to get there. Famous, at first, was picking on Juke because she was a little nervous at the stage. Now his ass is nervous. So what does Juke do? Juke gets him on the stage, gets the DJ to play the music she needs, takes the mic and gets this thing going, and then they hitting us with this #1 hit, The Streets Need a Body. Somebody tell me how I can get this on my phone so I can go work out to it, because it was a banger. Streets Need a Body. And they rocked this club in this event. But no sooner they start doing that do we start getting fights in the club, because your boy Scrappy alerts Lulu with that little finger wave he did. Something ain't right. They start fighting, and then we wind up with Scrappy outside, and basically Unique's guy says, look, did you think Unique really trusted you? Hell to the no. But ladies and gentlemen, I said last week, Unique ain't trust Scrap. I said last week, Scrap was about to die. Y'all try to tell me, oh no, Lamont, he ain't gonna die, not right now. His ass is about to go. He's done. And then we see Marvin in the car with his little crew, basically giving them the idea that Kanan gave him about how they can move product by the highway at the gas station. Is this going to draw a wedge between Kanan and Uncle Marvin, who's supposed to be his boy? I think it is. And then we see Po Kanan, man. He need to get them draws off. He goes over to Davina's house, still not realizing that Davina is the reason that he got in trouble in the first place. But while she's in here, she's loving on him, and she decides, you know what, I'm going to give you the draws, bro, but you got to put this condom on. So I guess at the very least I can say she's safe sexing it. And while they're doing that, everybody else is having sex. Finally, your boy Famous getting some. He's getting head because now he's famous. He's Puerto Rican famous. Now he's New York famous. He get on stage, do one act, and the people is throwing the draws at him. He's getting some. Lulu is smashing. The only one who ain't smashing is Raq, who is at home in bed contemplating the issue she's having with men, which the issue she's having right now with Symphony is brought on by herself. And I can just look at her in her eyes and tell that that was the problem with her in this episode. But then they hear a doorbell, someone said, your plan ain't work, B-I-T-C-H. And then we come outside and we see what I think is is either a dead or severely beaten Scrappy. And then we get Kanan and Raq just looking at him like, damn, what in the hell is going on? Wow. Wow. This was a loaded episode, ladies and gentlemen, and we still haven't even gotten to episode 9, which typically tends to be the most loaded episode. So let me know what you guys think. Leave me all your comments. Where are we going in the next episode? And that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, get yourself that life, gang. Join us as we go live Monday to do Power, Tuesday to do Power and Heels. Then Wednesday we'll be going Godfather of Harlem finale. And then we'll be back for the variety show on Friday night, all at 9 p.m. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'll see you.